Hey everybody, this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I hope you're having a blessed day. Thank you so much for all your comments, your sharing of the videos, everything you guys do. You guys are awesome. You are why I'm here doing the things. Well, I'd still be doing the things on my own, but this is why I'm here, for you guys. This video is, what if I have to get out, escape, bug out, get out of Dodge, those kind of things. What happens if your situation where you're at becomes untenable and not sustainable? What happens if certain organizations, groups, whatever, are coming down hard on you? What if they're confiscating your stuff? What if you see that coming and you want to get out before it happens? Well, this is why I've done videos, a lot of videos on bugging out. That's just a general term. That's a term we use as preppers. Like escape evasion, done a video on that. Bug out security en route. My videos about your security measures en route from your primary location to your bug out location. Talked about bug outs, how you want them in different directions, how you want different ideas, different plans for bugging out. And SOPs, standard operating procedures, established within your family, your friends, your MAG, mutual assistance group, or whatever people you have around you that will be going with you, or meeting you there, or meeting you en route, stuff like that. Which means calm plans with your groups, with whoever it is that you're thinking about. And these bug out locations, it's best to own them. It's best to have structures on them, food storage there, caches, defenses set up, but let's be real, everybody doesn't have that. So what do you do if you have to bug out, if you have to get out of Dodge, and you don't have these plans? Well, it's just not really that good of an idea. You don't want to be heading out into the woods, into the forest, into the mountains, into the Netherlands, whatever, never reaches, I don't know. You don't want to be heading out to those areas with no clue, with no plan in place, with no supplies in place, and with no prior reconnaissance of the area. You don't know what it is. You could be putting yourself at a way higher threat by going somewhere you don't know, that you haven't scouted, that you don't know the threats that are there, that you don't know what wild edibles are there, what sources of water are there, what sources of food are there. You have nothing established. I don't think that's a good idea. Now, with that said, I mean, if you're forced out and you got to get out, what do? Well, head to a rural area and hope that you can find somehow maybe you have a contact somewhere, a buddy, a family member, something like that, that might be willing to take you and your family or whoever it is in. If you are prepared, you have food storage, you have the things, then you're much more likely to be able to for somebody to take you in because you become an asset. Or if you have skill sets. That's why I talk about skill sets all the time. I talk about prepping all the time. I talk about stacking food all the time. Having seeds, gardening, canning, doing all these things. The more skill sets you have, medical, tactical, all these kind of things. The more of those kind of skill sets you have, the more of an asset you would be to somebody else. Thus, more likely to be taken in or accepted wherever it is you end up. You may have to just head up into the mountains randomly. So what do you do then? Well, you're going to have to kind of like recon and scout as you go. You're going to have to do the best you can. Have a scout party out in advance, an advance party, if you can. If not, if you're just driving up into the mountains because you got to get out because you're being persecuted, prosecuted, or whatever it may be, chased, maybe you just have to do that. So what do you look for? Sources of water, security, defensibility, and low population density are some of the top ones. There's a lot more to it. But find yourself a secure area where you can lock down that area fairly effectively with minimal personnel. So your ability to secure an area using the least number of people as possible, using natural terrain features, high ground, dead ground, all these kind of things. I've talked about all this in other videos also. It's just, man, there's so much to it. There's so much to it. Definitely think about having a source of water. You got to have a source of water. Also, what is the soil like for growing? There's so much to think about. But if, like I said, if you got to head out, it may be your only option. It's not a good option, but it may be your only option. So get to an area, scout it, and not just the location. Scout, at least, I'd say 1,000 yards, 2,000 yards around it. Start with 1,000. Secure that. Or at least, bare minimum, scout rifle range from where you're going to be camping, setting up camp, whatever it may be. Because you don't want to have any surprises and have somebody sitting up on Overwatch within striking range of you. I'm talking high power rifles, so I'm talking about 1,000 yards, terrain dependent though. If you're on wide open terrain, I'd say 1,000, 1,500. If you are in, dense stuff like this, well, you may only have to go 300, 500. So think about what the terrain is like, analyze the terrain, and scout everything very thoroughly within that area, very thoroughly. And then start scouting out and setting patrols. You're going to have to patrol the area because you don't want any surprises coming up to you. And yeah, this is manpower intensive. So that's why it's not a good idea. You're just going to have to do the best you can. And also, be always looking for, via these scouting parties, if you going out to scout, maybe, always be looking at a better position, somewhere else that you can move camp to be in a better position. More sustainable, more defensible, all these kind of things. I've always talked to them in the past about scouting these locations ahead of time. That's the best case. If you haven't already, go up into the mountains. Go wherever it is you're thinking about going and scout around. What is there? Are there people there? Or when are people there? Is it like people go out there in the summertime? Is it something where there's tourists? I don't know. There's so much to this big picture thing. Like I said, you're just going to have to make the best that you can. Setting up security is going to be number one. And then establishing shelter, all those things. This is why division of labor and mutual assistance groups are very, very key, because you can't do everything yourself. I've done videos about lone wolf. Some people with proper skill sets can survive by themselves out in the woods almost indefinitely. Although those are just a very, very small, certain kind of people with the proper skill sets that don't need interpersonal reaction or interpersonal communication, human contact. The loners, the real loner, hardcore loners. And for most of us, that's just not a reality. So don't think that you're going to be a lone wolf unless you're one of those people. And you may be. But get as far away as other people as you can. Set security. Build shelter. Find water. Find food. A source of food. Hopefully you have your food storage, your preps, things like that. But those will only last so long, right? Yes. So we have to be able to replenish them. And then once you get in a remote location like that, your odds are you're probably not going to be able to stay there. You're going to have to start foraying out into other areas, finding where the farms are, finding where other enclaves of people are. This is why communications is also key. If you have ham radios and stuff like that, you can monitor ham communication. Where are these groups of people? Maybe some of them are within a reasonable distance from you, and you can start communicating with them. I would say communicate over radio, stuff like that, kind of like, start the dating process, and then, maybe agree to meet or something like that. This is very dangerous, so there's so many different variables here as far as being dangerous and a threat to you and to your family and to whoever it is you're with. This is why us preppers have been going over this stuff and over this stuff for years, talking about bug out locations. We're not just blowing smoke just to be able to hear our voices. We're trying to convince everybody, you, to have these plans in place. Communications, scouting locations. Like I said, if you haven't done yet, get out there now. Scout these locations. If you think that this is going to happen and you're going to have to get out of society, then yeah. Or what's the other option? The other option is bugging in. And that means securing where you're at. Security, natural security, like big, huge things of blackberries that nobody's coming through. Defensive positions, stuff like that. But anyway, I'm not really going to talk about that. That's Patreon stuff. Yeah, I'm just saying, if you got to get out and you don't have plans in place, I'm not saying you're screwed, but I'm saying you're potentially in a world of hurt. One thing is, all we can do is the best we can do. Some people come on, the channel, make comments, oh, I'm jealous of all the gardening you got, and stuff like that. Don't be jealous, please. My situation is different than yours. I have weaknesses that I try to mitigate. You have strengths and weaknesses. We all do. So just do your best. That's all we can do, really. We're all in different situations. We're all in different financial situations. We're all in different health situations. We're all in different manpower situations. We're all in different amounts of land situations, population density situations. We're all different. So all I can really do is encourage you guys to do the best you can. Stockpile food, seeds, garden, produce your own calories, and have contingency plans. These are those contingency plans. The bugging out, the getting out. Bugging out of your primary location may just be to a friend's house, because maybe somehow they're in less of a threat or less of a danger or in a better situation than you are where you're at. So what I would say is, after watching this video, get out a pen and paper, start writing ideas down. Get on Google Earth, Google Maps, Bing Maps, whatever, and start doing the research to find locations. Where can I go? Where is it safest? And all the things I talked about. Water sources. But if you're talking water sources also, you got to remember that a lot more people may be heading there. Like if you see, you're looking up in the mountains in your area or something like that, or you're looking in the woods in your area and you see a lake. Great. But remember, others see that also. Others know that that's there. So start establishing some plans now. Take notes. Do some research. And just do the best you can. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all your support. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. You guys are why I do this. Yeah, there's a lot of trouble on the horizon potentially. Lord, I hope there isn't. But hope for the best, prepare for the worst, and make sure you're prepping a little every day. I love you guys, and blessings to you and yours.